This man came from the most powerful legal family in South Carolina. His grandfather was a prosecutor, his father was a prosecutor, he was a prosecutor. For 3 generations, the Murdaugh family ran the law in their corner of the state. Judges knew them, police knew them, everyone knew them. And for 20 years, Alex Murdaugh was quietly stealing $9 million from his most vulnerable clients, accident victims, grieving families, a housekeeper who worked for his family for years. And when the walls finally started closing in, prosecutors say he drove to his own property one June evening in 2021 and shot his wife and son dead, then called 911 and said he found them like that. Let me tell you about Alex Murdaugh. The Murdaugh family had held the position of lead prosecutor in their South Carolina circuit for 87 consecutive years, 3 generations. It was practically a family inheritance. Alex grew up watching his father and grandfather command courtrooms. He became a lawyer himself, a personal injury attorney who made millions for his clients and then quietly siphoned millions more for himself. His methods were calculated and cruel. He would intercept settlement checks meant for clients and redirect them to secret accounts he controlled. He fabricated attorney fees, he forged signatures, he stole from car accident victims, he stole from people who had lost loved ones, he stole from a man in a car wreck, he stole from an undocumented worker, but perhaps the most disturbing theft involved his family's longtime housekeeper, Gloria Satterfield. Gloria worked for the Murdaugh family for years. In 2018, she died at the family's 1,700-acre estate in what was described as a trip and fall accident. Alex Murdaugh helped her sons file a wrongful death lawsuit against himself, appearing to be supportive and generous, and then he quietly intercepted the entire settlement. He stole the money that was supposed to go to Gloria Satterfield's grieving sons, his family's devoted housekeeper. Her own boys never saw a cent. All of this was happening in the background while Alex Murdaugh maintained his image as a prominent community figure, a family man, a prosecutor's son. Then in February 2019, disaster struck publicly for the first time. Alex's son Paul was at the wheel of the family boat when it crashed near Paris Island. 19-year-old Mallory Beach was killed. Paul was indicted on felony boating under the influence charges. A civil lawsuit followed, and that civil lawsuit was going to require Alex to answer detailed questions about his finances. His carefully hidden world was about to be exposed. Then on June 7, 2021, Alex called 911 from his property in Islandton, South Carolina. He said he had come home from visiting his father, who was dying of cancer, and found his wife Maggie and his 22-year-old son Paul shot dead outside the dog kennels on their estate. The investigation that followed would eventually unravel everything. Investigators found the financial crimes first. In September 2021, Alex was arrested for diverting millions from Gloria Satterfield's estate, and then the indictments kept coming: fraud, forgery, money laundering, computer crimes. By the time they were done, he faced nearly 80 separate charges covering almost $9 million stolen from dozens of victims. Then he did something almost impossible to believe. 2 months after his wife and son were murdered, Alex Murdaugh was standing on the side of a road when he was shot in the head. He survived, and he told police a stranger had shot him in a random roadside attack. Investigators quickly discovered the truth. Alex had arranged for a man named Curtis Smith, a former client and drug dealer, to shoot and kill him. His plan was to die on that roadside so his surviving son Buster could collect on a $10 million life insurance policy. He was so deep in debt and so far into opioid addiction that he thought his own death was his best option. He survived the shot. Curtis Smith was arrested, and Alex Murdaugh checked himself into rehab in Florida. He was arrested there and brought back to South Carolina in handcuffs. In July 2022, he was indicted for the murders of Maggie and Paul. Prosecutors argued he had killed them to generate sympathy that might delay the exposure of his financial crimes, to buy himself time. The trial in early 2023 was one of the most watched in South Carolina history. Alex took the stand in his own defense. He admitted to all the financial crimes. He admitted he had lied to investigators about his whereabouts the night of the murders, but he denied killing his wife and son. The jury deliberated for less than 3 hours, guilty, 2 life sentences, and then the story took one more twist that nobody saw coming. The county court clerk who had presided over the trial was a woman named Becky Hill. After the verdict, she wrote a tell-all book about the case, and then it emerged that during the trial, she had been quietly coaching the jurors, telling them to watch Murdaugh's body language, saying his testimony would be an epic day, telling them not to be fooled by the defense. One juror said her comments made Murdaugh seem guilty before deliberations even began. In May 2026, the South Carolina Supreme Court issued a unanimous ruling. The jury had been improperly influenced. The murder convictions were overturned. Alex Murdaugh was granted a new trial. He is still in prison on the financial crimes, sentenced to 40 years in federal court and 27 years in state court. He is not going anywhere soon, regardless of what happens at any new murder trial. But Maggie and Paul Murdaugh are still dead, and their killer has never been definitively established in a court that followed the rules. A man came from the most powerful legal family in the state. He spent 20 years stealing from the most vulnerable people who trusted him. He allegedly killed the people he was supposed to love most. He hired someone to kill himself. He survived. He lied. He confessed to everything except the murders, and the court clerk trying to sell a book may have just given him another chance. That is the case. Nova out.